Little breeze around, what breeze there is favouring Louth in the first half. That's Paddy Keenan. He'll have a big role, you imagine, to play tonight as Shane Lennon links up here with Brian White again, gets it onto the right boot and puts it over the bar. Brilliant scoring. Now, Brian White. Held here well by Andy MacDonald. Back once again it comes. And that time a much better attempt, and it's over the bar. Middle of the park.
Over Westmeath, reporting on a dramatic game in Tullamore now is Robbie Irwin.
Despite losing to Westmeath last year, Wicklow under Mick O'Dwyer had a glorious run in the qualifiers and were marginal favourites to win today, having already beaten Carlow in the last round. Westmeath had the worst possible build-up to today's encounter. Their dismal run in the league campaign was followed by the departure of manager Brendan Hackett, who was replaced just weeks ago by Pat Flanagan. He recalled Desi Dolan and Dennis Glennon to the panel, but Westmeath had a lot to prove today. Wicklow started well and opened the scoring in the first minute with a free from Tony Hannon. It was the first of 5 frees for the Hollywood man, but he also missed a couple. Wicklow didn't score again until the 24th minute, and by that stage Westmeath had 3 points on the board from Martin Flanagan, captain Michael Ennis and championship newcomer Paul Greville. Westmeath were playing well and deserved their lead, although Wicklow were denied on a couple of occasions by brilliant goalkeeping from Gary Connaughton. But his opposite number wasn't so lucky. Mervyn Travers looks like missing the rest of the season after he collided with Martin Flanagan and was stretchered off with a tendon injury to his knee. Westmeath were the better team and Flanagan and co were firing over some well-taken scores, but at half-time they led by just 1 point. That lead was 3 points very early into the second half, with 2 more brilliant scores, and Westmeath looked like they were on their way to a big win. But Wicklow fought back, and 2 more frees brought them to within a point again. But Westmeath looked well in command, and at one stage they were 5 points clear with some really well-worked scores, most of which came from play. This was a very well-contested game, but late on, referee Michael Collins gave 3 players their marching orders for second yellow cards. Wicklow lost Leighton Glynn, while Westmeath were down to 13 as John Gaffey and David Duffy were sent off. They hardly seemed justified. As the game entered the final couple of moments, Wicklow needed a goal to level it, and twice within the space of 30 seconds they hit the bar, with shots from Nicky Myrna and JP Dalton. And then, as the final whistle approached, Wicklow fans were on their feet when Paul Earls fired home what looked like a stunning and undeserved equaliser. The game was level, and extra time beckoned, but up stepped Dennis Glennon, and his recall was totally justified as he gave Westmeath a late point and a place in the Leinster semi-final against Louth.
I only got involved 5 weeks ago, but I knew the players were there, and there is some very, very good players in Westmeath, quality footballers. And the whole idea was just to try and get the belief back into the whole setup and give them something to aim for.
We had 2 great goaling chances in the first half and didn't put any one of them away. I suppose if we had taken points on both of those occasions, it would have made a difference. But overall, yes, I'm certainly disappointed. It's a game that we could truly have won on today.
Fair turnaround for Westmeath now, Leinster semi-final column.
Yeah, fair credit to Pat Flanagan, who only came in 5 weeks ago, and Westmeath didn't win any games in the league this year. I don't know whether they won any last year either. So now they're in a Leinster semi-final. So, you know, great credit to them. A big disappointment for Micko, who had declared that this was going to be his last year in charge of Wicklow anyway. I don't know whether he intends to move on.
Do you think he will surface somewhere else?
Well, I think he's 74 years of age on Wednesday, so he's contributed richly to the GAA over 40, 50 years. You know, maybe he thinks he's done enough, but you know, his enthusiasm.
He could equally be shouting at the telly saying,
yeah, he has such enthusiasm that I would be very surprised